good afternoon and welcome back to the Engerati studio. With me this afternoon is Paul Eggleton, who is the Head of Energy and Sustainable Solutions for Telefónica. Paul, that's quite a job title.
It is, yeah.
Before we came on live on air, you were telling me about some of the drivers behind Telefónica getting involved in the utility sector. Would you like to expand on some of those for me, please?
Yeah, certainly. So machine to machine is a global strategic priority for Telefónica, and actually we're operating a number of sort of verticals within machine to machine, one of them being utilities. So we're covering sort of utilities, smart metering, smart grids, also looking at sustainability, so smart cities, and then also within machine to machine looking at sort of vehicle telematics, security, e-health, all those sort of things. So utilities is one of those industries that is almost sort of going through its own digital transformation, using sort of machine-to-machine technology to be able to connect to many sort of different devices. You know, you've heard of the Internet of Things. So machine-to-machine enables utilities to connect with their customers, but also for their own business benefits as well. So take a water company, for example. They may wish to monitor remote pumping stations, liquid levels, water levels, rainfall levels. All of these are different inputs that machine-to-machine technology can enable, and we can bring that data back up through to the utility and sort of generate business insight and value for them, and it helps them become more efficient. So for us, it's M2M is a huge market, growing constantly, and so it sort of makes sense for us to play in that.
But you were telling me that machine to machine is, for you, literally beyond connectivity. What does that mean?
So traditionally, machine to machine was literally providing connectivity. So here's a SIM card, here's enabling a connected device, and then somebody else would really do some of the value add. So for us, it's about moving beyond connectivity, providing it in the first instance, but then building sort of a managed service around that. So we can provide managed connectivity, so being able to monitor the device, see how it's operating, be able to put the SIM card into different sort of states. That's the sort of the first layer. You then expand even further, so being able to put sort of data collection and analytics behind it. So not only being able to collect the data in the first instance, but be able to then take it, analyze it, put it into a format that the end user can understand, and from that they can derive some value and insight and sort of change either behaviours or business processes.
When we were speaking earlier, you mentioned around more customer or consumer engagement. How do you see that looking in a world that has got so much connectivity, and how do you see Telefónica enabling that process?
So for utilities, depending on which country you're in, they've got various different levels of engagement between the utility and their end customer. Consumers are just through technology evolution becoming more connected. They're doing their banking online. As you look forward, they'll want to engage with their home more, so they want to be able to control their heating remotely. If you're leaving the office late, you don't want your heating to come on at its normal time. M2M technology and connected technology enables automated sort of activity to take place. So, for example, your heating only comes on when you're half an hour from home, so that your house is warm when you need it, but you're not wasting energy earlier in the day. So, as consumers want to engage more with their home, it also makes sense that the utilities who provide the raw material for that sort of heat and warmth and lighting can use that to sort of develop new products and services. Smart metering is going to generate a huge amount of data, so utilities should be able to take that data and with permission from the customer be able to analyse it and develop new products and services. For example, you could take the energy data, the customer could tell them what type of house they live in, how many live in the home, how many children, have you got loft insulation already. They can combine that with the energy data and actually say, well, okay, I'm going to offer you a boiler because I think by looking at your data, you could save 30% on your heating bill. And that's the sort of the power of the data that can be generated. And in doing so, the utility can offer a new product and service and almost do sort of diversify to a certain degree as well. So it's a new revenue stream for them.
Okay. And what about security or privacy concerns? I mean, this is obviously something that has come up many times. Any thoughts?
Yeah, so certainly in the UK, the design of the system and of the security model is very robust. This is a supplier-led rollout, and we want customers to want a smart meter. So right from the outset, it's been designed to demonstrate that security has been thought and is at the core of the sort of the ecosystem that's been designed. The data transfers from the meter all the way up to the utility, and we don't get sight of it. There's no way of breaking into the connectivity pipe, as it were. And there's various layers of encryption, and only authorised parties are going to be able to have access to that data. And ultimately, the customer's going to have to provide their permission to use that data as well.
And why do you feel that cellular is the best platform for this machine-to-machine communication and for this connectivity beyond what we're currently experiencing?
I mean, there's many reasons. I mean, primarily cellular's ubiquitous. So around the world, cellular networks already exist. They already enjoy massive investment in terms of innovation. We're constantly having to upgrade our networks to meet demands of customer data, 2G, 3G, 4G, higher data rates. Those are sort of benefits that machine-to-machine technology can get almost essentially for free, if you will. So take our smart metering bid in the UK. Our radio network is already built. So there's very little in terms of setup costs we need to do to actually provide that service. We just have to provide the communications hub and then the service wrap that goes around it. Plus, with cellular, as you sort of want to develop new products and services over the top of this, you've got a global developer community. Everybody sort of develops apps for mobiles, and it can be the same for machine to machine as well. So cellular is always going to innovate, is always going to continue to sort of grow and offer new products and services, which is not really the case for sort of quite constrained proprietary solutions. So on that basis, it's got a lot of things going from it in terms of being able to provide and almost sort of future-proof in a way.
So do you see us being able to go into the Google App Store, for instance, and literally download an app to monitor some sort of home area network? Is it literally as simple as that?
It can be, yes. I mean, you look around you here in this show, there'll be lots of providers of smart home type solutions, and that can range from controlling your heating to security. Having security cameras in your house and being able to remotely check what's going on in your home. So the connectivity that cellular brings and the bandwidth that it has enables those sort of high value sort of products and services. Using the smart metering platform, for example, that can be a foundation to smarter homes, e-health provision. There's a lot can be done from energy data that can actually help people stay in their homes longer rather than going into hospital. By monitoring people's activity through their energy patterns can actually help almost watch consumers and make sure they're okay, that they're still active in their homes. So it's very sort of powerful. It may sound like it's quite Big Brother, but actually people would rather stay in their home than go into hospital. Oh. So using some of these services, they will be able to give their permission to allow that to happen.
Any last thoughts before we wrap up? Where do you see this revolution that we're currently undergoing in the utility sector? Where do you see it being in 5 or 10 years' time?
I think it's we're at a real sort of cusp at the moment, and I call it the digital transformation for the utility industry. They're going to get enormous amounts of data from smart metering, and it's a huge opportunity to be able to take that data, put some analytics around it, and be able to offer new sort of products and services. Also, there's a potential for new third-party entrants as well. So it could be household names, supermarkets, DIY stores who come and get permission to use that data and use it for other new sort of products and services, and actually being able to, from that, really join the consumer together with their home and build a new relationship with the utility. Because if utilities don't do that, then I think the third parties will almost come and steal that relationship from them. So it's an opportunity and a threat at the same time.
So do you see us being in a world where your fridge orders your milk and Tesco's delivers it?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody always thinks that that's very sort of tomorrow's world, but the technology is there for that to happen today. And actually, it's going to come down to consumer attitudes and sort of cultural restrictions that will either allow that or won't allow it. We did a bit of research recently that showed that different people had different attitudes to data sharing and the value that you could gain from that. So typically the younger generation were quite happy in being quite open with their data because they understood the sort of the value exchange that they got back from it, whereas some of the older generation were quite protective of their data.
I guess it's also because younger people already live their lives on the internet, so for them to share their data, it's
you use the term digital natives, but that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
They don't really know any difference, really.
No, in fact, sometimes they share too much.
Oh, exactly. Yes, indeed.
Damn, I had a question and it's totally gone. I'm just going to wrap up
Sure.
now. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. Paul, thank you so much for being
That's
with
okay.
us. So from the Engerati studio at European Utility Week, see you soon.